I personally would wear the glasses if I were you because you look like
Steven, you
the
have glasses?
librarian. No, I have perfect vision. I'm perfect.
So what the
Anyway,
hell? You gonna
there you go.
join the team
I
or
do
not?
actually. No.
We'll be
I can wear my
Bring them.
sunglasses.
Bring
But
them
anyway,
because it's a day that we need to wear glasses because we don't see very well what's going on.
Apparently, see Vicky. I think
We are
the
not.
good thing with
Is this
the good
real
thing
what
with
I'm
Vicky wearing
seeing?
glasses now, everybody thinks she's the hot librarian that gives spankings because that's what we tell everybody.
Jeez.
Is that even a thing anymore? I don't think kids even go to the library, so it's not even like a fantasy.
She's not a librarian, but the other you can keep.
Vicky, I think everybody loves you in glasses now.
Are we ready? I'm posting.
You got the fancy. Should we start the show? You want to start the show? You want to just talk about Vicky and her glasses?
Yes, start the show because I'm posting and people are coming now because they're
coming. They're breathing heavy. Congratulations! All right, here we go.
This is 2OF Entertainment.
And here we are with the sexy librarian.
Hello, how are you doing, everybody?
Good. How's everything going?
It's cold here. I'm freezing.
But it's cold here too. You know, it's
5C.
5? Oh my
5.
God.
No, it's not. It feels like temperature is 0. It's freaking cold.
No, it's 5. It's 5 Celsius.
Really?
It's 5 Celsius. I don't think that. Let me see. Let me look at the field temperature here. Hold on a second. I want to make sure we
change the weather too.
I changed everything. It
said
Did he
put tariffs this morning? Was 32,
did he put tariffs on weather?
No, it's basically it's right now. It's 5 Celsius. That's it.
5 so in Texas.
Yeah, it's so for the people that don't know, can't do math. That's 40 Fahrenheit.
We are 19, but it feels cold. I think there are tariffs on
68 degrees. What are you? That's crazy. 19.
I wish it was 19 like we are, though.
Yeah, yesterday
I have
the high
hot tea. I have my hoodie on. I'm ready to go.
You could tell she's like, I've got my hot tea. I don't
have the heat on. I didn't turn. Did you have your heat on? I turned the heat off like a couple months ago because so I have no heat in my house.
Right. Well, we know
but Vic, maybe you should save because you never know what the future brings.
We just flip a button and the heat comes on. We don't turn it off.
What kind of house do you live in? I have it on the air conditioner instead of on the heat function. I could have turned the button over, yes, but
I'm just gonna. Okay. I was gonna say, what kind of house do you have? Like,
I didn't
1930, where the boiler guy has to come to your house.
I remember that though.
I remember back
having to light the furnace every year and shit because your furnace was off and
Yeah, I remember, and the boiler guy would come and he'd fill the boiler with oil and stuff for the winter.
We never had that.
And we had the guy with the logs that would come and give us the wood for the fireplace, and that was really coming as VW. I never forgot this as a kid. He'd come in a VW, and I would be like, "How much wood can you fit in this VW?" And he would bring. It had to be at least 10 feet in length and about 4 feet high of wood in his VW, and it would last all winter.
VW is
you had a fireplace in New York?
Yeah, in the house.
You had a house. For some reason, I imagined you in an apartment because I feel everybody in New York lives in an apartment. That's probably wrong.
we're the snooty New Yorkers. Thank you. we don't hobnob with the poor. So. Well, excuse me, darling. But so no, it was very cool. I remember this guy distinctly. Yeah, I loved it. It was cool. I had a good time. But it's not that chilly. The dog and I went for our walk this morning. She thought it was cold, and she saw a rabbit, and she got all excited.
Well, she's got fur on now, so that makes sense.
Well, she run after it.
She tries to run after it, but she's she's a dog, so it's not her. Her specialty is not running after anything. Her specialty is going. Woof.
There are some dogs which can find the rabbits and
rabbits. Mine can run. Well, she ran hair. The problem is she caught a bird once. She didn't kill it. She played with it. So she catches the wild hare. She would play with it, and I'm like, okay. But it's funny because when we walk in the neighborhood, all the dogs look like they see each other. They go, wow, they're going to kill each other. And then you get them to the dog park, and then they all play. and it's just on the leads. They want to kill it. I'm just like, you guys are like, what the hell? Like your buddy. But there's a corky down the street, whether my dog's on a lead or not, and the corky comes out, she runs loose, she runs over to her, my dog will go ruff, and the corky will go give her a kiss and then run away, and then my dog will tag, like, go play. I'm like, oh God, here we go. So
that's cute.
she's a good little girl. So yeah, I let her drive the car.
How old is she?
She just turned in January. She turned 3 years old.
Oh, she's very young.
Oh, she's still a baby.
She's still a baby. Yeah, she's an old lady baby. When we got her, she was 2.5 months, and she
So
has
you don't
always
have it too
been.
long.
I've had her. I got her I've had her since baby 2.5 months after she was born. Yeah, but the funny part about her is she's acted like an old lady since day one. She's an old lady mom dog, and she's like, okay, do 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 do, bump. You know, like there's nothing. She's everything. She's just It's like you think she's like 50. You know, she runs around for 5 minutes and she's like, all right, I'm done. I need to go lay down and have my cigarette and,
I know
fight
that
with
feels
my So for you guys that have fantasies, purposely, we're going to do this. There you go. There's Vicky, the librarian today. She'll be at Hitler's House of Pain in Austin later. Feel free to join. So in the library room. So there you go. So
they don't hurt you. They just scold you.
Oh, I know, right? So get a spanking and everything.
Involved.
Yeah, and get spanking. It'll be like going to parochial school with a nun. Anyway, so we're going to talk
I'm not
about.
wearing a nun outfit.
I can I tell you, it's a bad habit. Thank you. I'm here till Thursday. So, kids, what do you want to talk about today? I wrote the title. We're going to talk geopolitics without mentioning that guy, which Adam, of course, has put as his name today.
Yeah, we have the game is like this. Everyone has 5 points. The three of us.
Okay.
Whoever says the name of the president of America loses 1 point, and when he loses everything, we throw him away.
Okay.
So don't say my name.
Okay.
Nicknames are allowed, though, right? Like nicknames.
Don't say my name.
We call me. We can say you can't say the proper name, but
Steven,
we can call him.
Are we winning or not yet? Should I go back to sleep?
Well, here's what's going on.
When should I wake up?
Probably 2030, 2035, maybe. I don't know. Here's where we are today. Yeah, that long. The markets have lost somewhere between $2 and $5 trillion. It depends who you talk to.
Today?
No, over since the tariffs of last week. As of like this morning.
How many?
How many? 2 to 5 trillion, depending on who you talk to.
Oh, I read it's 7.
Okay, it might have been because the Asian markets were down.
Probably it's bigger loss.
The Asian markets tanked yesterday, or last night into this morning.
Do they count also the crypto?
Crypto is down as well.
That's right. Do they count this also?
Yeah, they count it. But Tether said that they want to now, because of that gentleman that sits in the White House, the orange guy. They are going to. Yeah, no, it's not the point. I know. That's because we can call him the name. We just can't call him his name. Tether's going to have a stable coin now because the administration is pro crypto, and I still am. I understand crypto. I'm okay with it to an extent, but I'd rather, if I'm going to do something in that space, I'd tokenize assets on the blockchain, and I would do that. But that's just me. I don't think a stable coin is going to work unless it gets regulated very quickly by the SEC and the Federal Reserve and the Treasury, and make sure that, for every dollar, there's a dollar. Not like the last stable coin, for every dollar, there's 30 cents.
Taking out the whole meaning of this,
Yeah, and the markets are going to go down because of the tariffs. Jamie Dimon this morning said that we're probably going to be in a recession soon, and I'm like, "Whoa, Jamie, you're so smart." We've been saying that for 5 months.
Do you have the saying that it's we say "Kerasaki Stidurta," the cherry on the cake?
Oh, the cherry on the cake. Oh, yeah.
Cherry on top.
Saying.
Cherry on top.
The cherry on top.
Because the markets are not falling because only of the tariffs. It's because the whole thing, I believe. It's a sign, it's a big sign, I think.
Well, mostly the markets are falling because of the tariffs, just to let you know. And most people will tell you that. Like if you read the headlines, global stocks tumble as blank offers no respite from tariffs. Here, I'll give you an idea of what's going on globally. So the dollar is down. The European stocks tumbled with the STOX European
Everything is
600.
down. Everything is down.
Sinking 4.7%. The German DAX was down 4.2%. The FTS
American,
was down
the
4.5%.
Dow Jones, how is it?
It's not open yet. So it ended the week down. Goldman Sachs raised its probability of a U.S. recession from 35 to 45%. Goldman, it's 100%. Everybody knows that.
Right.
Let's see. There's nothing going on. I mean, basically, if you read here you go. One last, okay, I just gave you all those numbers. So yeah, the FTX or FTSE down 4.7%. The stock Euro 600 down 5.1. DAX is down 4.8.
But
Bonds
is the American going to open today or no?
Yeah, the stock exchange will open. Of course it will.
What time?
Yeah,
Soon.
It'll go down. Don't worry about it. The futures are down.
I know. I just want to see, because I guess the American market will be hit the most, no?
Well, the American market, what will end up happening is the futures right now are down. So ultimately, what will end up happening is the American market will definitely end up down. So top securities, here's you go. Right now, just so you know what's going on, the S&P, let me just double check and make sure this is up to date. Yep, the S&P 500 right now is down 5.9%, so 6%. NASDAQ is down 5.8, another 6%. The US 10-year bond is down 27 basis points. If you don't know what that is, it's fine. Crude oil is down 2%. Gold, of course, is up 0.35%. The euro is up 6 basis points. The pound to the dollar is down.
That I don't like, but okay.
I'm just saying, yeah. So the whole planet is down except for gold, because people think gold's going to help them if there's a whatever.
Yeah,
I think
when the iPhone is going to cost.
Right.
Now tell me something, because I don't really understand, and I think that most people don't understand, because this administration, in general, the politics, we are going to do this because it will do this, and did he explain really why and how he's going to make that America great again? Because we don't see it. And of course he says, okay, you have to wait. The surgery has happened. Now we're in recovery. I don't see this as a recovery. I see that the patient is dying, actually. So what's the recovery? Maybe sometimes the solution is to keep,
Yeah, we're just supposed to hang tough while he golfs. I think that's the current plan, right?
Yeah, right. Well, I golf, and when we golf, we just laugh at the American people. China and Russia right now are laughing all the way to the bank, especially China.
Yep. But
China and Russia and Iran. I'm sorry,
he's
China,
the only
Russia,
guy
Iraq,
who turned the whole planet against him. I mean, it has never happened before.
He just fired a guy named Timothy Hawk, who was the head of our cybersecurity last week on Friday, because some conspiracy theory lady showed up at the office and said he's not loyal to you. Yeah. But here's the problem with that. So China and Russia, Iran and North Korea are laughing all the way to the bank, because now there's nobody to protect us. So we had a gentleman on Lost Dollar Business Club who writes for a defense magazine, who is a cybersecurity expert. And inside the Beltway, he was telling us that people think like the whole administration of Trump is just Russian. I'm sorry, I didn't say
1 point down.
Make it a 4.
That's fine. Is just Russian assets, because everything they're doing is making America weak, not keeping America strong. So the big problem you have is we've never really been out of the, and I'm using the D word, not the R word, depression of 2008. If you look at the numbers of 2008 and go back to 1929, it's the same. We were in a depression. They didn't want to say it because, oh God, we don't want people, or it's a depression. What Trump's going to cause, I know it's 2 points, is another depression, but this one, there'll be no coming back from. And that's going to be the problem.
And we are talking about totally different periods, right? And we're talking about instant transactions, about all countries involved, and now we're talking about mega countries, right? Superpowers, China,
Russia,
USA, all the countries, the European Union, everything. And I don't see anything. I mean, nobody is winning, actually. Nobody,
right?
Unless I don't know, unless he really has a plan, like a desperate plan. Because the economy of the US is fucked up. We don't even know. Maybe he knows something. I don't know. But what's the plan?
There's no plan.
What's
There
the
is no
plan?
plan.
What's the
The plan
plan?
is working. This is the plan.
I'm sorry, but what's the plan on bringing back like factories like iPhone, right? iPhone,
Okay.
bringing back in the US,
Well, factories, I can
and
tell you.
which will take like 5 years. They say about 5 years, something like that, and a lot of billions.
I've said that here.
And
So here's the deal.
okay,
Here's the deal.
so the
Here's your
country.
factory thing. Wait, before you go to your next
Okay,
point, let me explain factories
let's
really quick.
one.
Honda's bringing a factory here. They're going to leave Mexico, come here, and we've said this on Lost Dollar. It takes anywhere from if you're the Chinese, it takes a day, but we're not. We're Americans. It's going to take anywhere from 18 months to 4 years to build your factory. So the
Mhm.
factory say gets here. I'm being generous. 2028, 2030, with all the new technology that's coming out with robots and AI. The question then really is, will you be staffing the factory with Adam, Vicky, and Steven? Or are you going to stack the factory with robots and have instead of 50 or 1,500 employees, 5 people that run the robots? So making
Yeah, but
America great.
he wants it
Go ahead.
back because he wants to give more work to the people,
There's
right?
no more
Not
work.
to the robots.
There's no what work.
Right. That's
What
his
work?
point.
I
That's
know,
my point.
but does he
Yeah.
know? I don't know. What
Does he know? Sure he knows.
No,
This
I
is
don't think he
bullshit
does.
anyway.
I think it's rhetoric for the people that voted for him. If you guys watched the Friday or Saturday's show or the live show Friday that we did on Lost Dollar, we had David DeWitt from NetGov, and he's a defense writer, and even the Republicans now are fed up with Trump, and a lot of them are afraid
Everybody,
that
I
they're going
told
to
you
impeach
that
him.
everybody is
Yeah, yeah,
against
right.
him. Even did you read what Musk was saying? He was saying, "Oh, it would be finally great if Europe and America would have not tariffs at all." So it's going on the opposite, totally opposite side.
Do you know why he
And he
said
was
that?
accusing a guy there in the council of Trump
Right.
that he's like a professor from Harvard. He doesn't make anything. So we are seeing already a civil war inside there, right?
Right. But you know why
Because
Musk said that?
he had Musk at a very
Yeah.
top
You
position.
know why
Right?
Musk said that, right? It would be better if there was no tariffs
Yeah,
because
he
now
said that.
his crappy test. I know he said what you're saying. I'm saying the reason he said that is because his crappy little POS
Yeah, of
cars,
course.
all 90% of the components aren't here. They're
Yeah.
China, Japan, South Korea, where Vicky has an affair. By the way, I saw that your boyfriend got arrested and put in jail for this and kicked out of being
Is he my
president.
boyfriend?
He has a
I
new
forget
boyfriend.
what your scenario is because
Yeah,
I got
he's
little
South
Tim
Korean
up in the
behind.
president.
north, and then I got
You got them both.
which would yeah.
Yeah.
My
Yeah.
one boyfriend in the north is in his little cyber terrorism labs, and they're
Yeah,
stealing
he
all the
is.
crypto
Yeah.
and
But
all
in
that
the
shit
north
right
of
now.
Korea or north?
Yeah, North Korea. North Korea is
Yeah.
like the number one cyber attack against the U.S.
Yeah, they're stealing. Probably they stole my Ethereum.
Probably. And then my boyfriend in the south just got impeached.
Arrested.
He's not in jail yet because he still has to go
Not
through
yet.
trial, but he's at least not in power. So we have an election in 60 days. Meanwhile, they're freaking out because they're trying to send people here to kiss
You have elections? What elections?
T Rumpy's ass. Didn't say it. And to try and get their economic stuff back together. And they don't know who to send and who's doing. I mean, they do have someone that's in there right now, this Han Duck-Soo, which is like, I don't know, his name makes me laugh, but he's kind of in charge and they're sort of sending people. So we'll see what happens.
Okay.
But yeah.
The world is a crazy place right now. But yeah, so Adam, to your point on the factories, that's wonderful, but it's useless.
Yeah. So let's continue. Then
Okay.
can we know the prices of the iPhone? We're saying iPhone just like it's not about iPhone only. It's about every product, right?
Right.
Can we guarantee that the prices will be the same or lower?
They'll be higher.
No.
Of course, they'll be higher because they'll be produced in a country which is more expensive in general, right?
Who knew?
Yeah.
Everybody. Not rocket science, kids. So I just thought the funniest part when I woke up.
If the guy, I'm
Funny.
not saying his name. I'm not saying
that
his
guy?
name.
Yeah, you're
If
down
the
to
guy
4 though because you said
was
it.
watching our show,
Yeah.
he would be in a better position. He would be winning, but I don't see it coming soon enough.
I don't know. Here, let me just tell you this while we are doing this. The Dow Jones futures are down 192 basis points. The S&P futures are now down 218 basis points. NASDAQ futures are down 2.6 basis points. And all the other stuff you guys already know.
Well,
So there you go.
you know something, Steven, I don't understand, because there are those
Oh, and
guys.
Bitcoin's down 3%, down to 76,000
Well,
instead of
it's down, very
101.
down. Everything is very down.
Yeah, everything. The
What
world's coming to an
what
end.
what actually is? I forgot actually.
That's what happens when you get old. So
Let's see. How
But,
can we?
but
How can we help
there
you
is so much
remember?
to say. I mean, I don't know where to start from, because you know when okay, for I remembered. When we say, because there are many people which are opposed to globalization, right?
right.
Globalization is a term that doesn't have to do only about policies. I mean, the factories in China or everything like that. Globalization is something that happened, I mean, thousands of years ago. It's when people start to communicate with other people, like the Greeks start to communicate or meet in India. When great Alexander went there, he was one of the first guys who globalized things. Alexander the Great.
Yeah.
This is
Mhm.
330 BC, right?
Right.
Yeah.
We're talking about
BC.
2,500
BCE. Yeah.
years ago.
Right.
And so globalizing depends on the means that we have to communicate, transport, and everything like that. This is globalization. You cannot stop it. We know
Yeah.
very well that we're living in one planet, well, if you zoom out, nothing really happens, because for the, I always have to put philosophy in this. From the point of view of, I don't know, the space, we're just a tiny speck,
Mhm.
a tiny rock that is circling a medium star, somewhere like that, and like that. So if you zoom out, nothing really is happening, everything's okay. But if you zoom in to this tiny little planet where we all live, and until now we haven't found any other life somewhere else, and we are probably the most intelligent thing that exists in the universe. We don't know, but we might be.
No, we're not. Stop it.
That would
Just
be
stop it. We are
scary.
not the most
We don't
intelligent
know.
thing that lives in the universe. We do
I
know.
said we don't know.
We do know. We
Oh
actually do.
no, we don't know. We don't
We
know.
do. The public doesn't know, but
Until we
everybody
know.
that's in the know actually knows. This is like the worst kept secret from the public. So
Mm.
yeah, we do know.
Anyway,
There's tons of stuff.
let's yeah.
Mhm.
Anyway, because I was thinking about globalization,
Sure.
and
Mm.
look, now it's we already, for example, for the artist, we are selling all around the world, like most of the people around. There are many people who are selling through Amazon, through
Right.
doing some stuff, and it's for passive income, or sometimes a real income. And those guys, they're trying. Okay, that's the time we're living. You can judge it if you like it or you don't like it, but they're making a living from this. uh, we are making a living. Now it's hard for me to sell like to the United States. They will be imposed like tariffs for my work. So it's I mean, it's everywhere. Everybody is affected in a way.
Hmm.
There are guys
Yeah.
in Greece who are supporting the guy without the name we can't say. There was, and I'm asking,
A
are you
name
happy
we
now?
shall not say.
Yeah, because
He who
look,
shall not be
if
named.
for
Hold the
example,
Trump.
Germans have problems economical, or
He was
French
called
people,
in the word.
Italian, they will not come to Greece for holidays. This is our income.
All
So,
the
so what are you
Saudis
gonna do with
are
all those Airbnbs and stuff, and all the food that
Yeah.
we are preparing here for them? It's
they're going to
the
starve and die.
economy now of the world is globalized by default. I mean, you
Right.
cannot stop it and close yourself inside. This is not make America great again. It's not even. It's only America. It's not even
First of
this.
all, is
It's
that
nothing.
statement that he made is BS. America was already a
Of
great
course it is.
country.
Like everything almost you say.
We had problems, whatever. He's making America suck cock. Full stop. Let's just be blunt. We're becoming a third rate shithole, and it's going to get
Mhm.
worse. In the Financial
Mhm.
Times and even on Bloomberg, I was just looking.
Now,
Most of the
now,
major guys
yeah,
out there
as an
are also
experiment,
saying
because it's
it's
kind
not
of an
good.
experiment. Now we will
It
see
is, but now
how
he's screwing the
fast
experiment up.
how
So,
fast things are going to go down, how fast, because this is the most important, how fast it's going
right.
to affect the real people, the everyday people, with the
Mhm.
prices, right? Because how long will it take until those prices will go high? I mean, month or less? Or they're already up? I don't know what's going on in America,
Prices are going up here.
Depends
They're
because
on
not
you're
going
where.
down.
affected the
Yeah.
most.
Yeah. They're going, and well, a good thing globally, Saudi Arabia is about to cut oil prices because of what's going on. So, I mean, it won't, I'm sure the oil companies won't have it reflected at the pump, but gas prices should be coming down. because they're concerned
Everything
now.
is going down because everything will go down.
So if that's his master
when
plan, if that was
sales.
his master plan to bring prices down, then he's the smartest guy on the planet. However,
Stephen, we have to understand that his plan is to take
Mhm.
revenge of
Yo, that's what he's
everybody
doing.
who was not following him, who was not
Yep.
saying how great he is, how beautiful he is, how
Right.
wonderful he is. I mean, all those stuff. If you did that, you might be somehow safe, because you're not safe in a global environment like that. It's going to affect you anyway. Like, for example, the English market, if you look, it's lower down because they
Mhm.
imposed 10%. It's lower, but it's going to affect them from the other side. I mean, the English economy. It's all global now. You cannot
Yeah.
stop it. What is really right is what the Musk say. This is the only logical. There shouldn't be any tariffs from any country.
Well, there has to be.
At least,
Here's
okay. Let's put some small
here's something
tariffs.
interesting about tariffs, and that people don't know. I was watching a guy on Bloomberg. It was explaining, one of their analysts, about tariffs. He was talking about Canada and the U.S. because apparently we hate Canada this week, and I still like them. Anyway, they were talking about Canada, and they were talking about our farmers sending dairy product to Canada. And the way the tariff works for our farmers is there's a quota. So let's say that our farmers are allowed, and I'm just using low numbers because most people can't think big, 10 buckets of milk or 10 buckets of butter, whatever it is. So those first 10 buckets, no tariffs. Once you get you go past 10, you get to your 11th bucket, that's when a tariff would hit on our product.
So there's a limit that the tariffs are
No,
imposed.
not a limit. It's just it's a quote. Once you pass the quota, we charge a
Yeah, the
tariff.
quota.
Here's the funny thing. They went back, I guess, 20 years. There's never been a tariff on any American products going to Canada and for the dairy farm or for the farmers, because they've never hit the quota. That's how high the quota is. And
Okay.
so all this.
But now it will exceed.
Well, now Canada is they're charging more for electric they send to the US. They're charging more for lumber. So all the orange guy did was increase prices in the United States and global.
Yeah, for the customers.
He's creating Hazarai, which for those people that don't know Yiddish, crazy. And it's okay if there's a master plan, and you don't have to tell anybody the master plan. The problem is that from the people that are the reporter that we had on Friday's show was telling us, when you talk to Republicans and Democrats and people in the Beltway that really know, that aren't like, armchair quarterbacks, they go, there is no plan. When they meet with him and his administration, they ask behind closed doors very serious questions. And it's like, okay, well, this is bad. So even the Republicans realize it's getting bad. Even some of the Republicans are speaking out. The American people over the weekend apparently had protests all over America.
Yeah, I was downtown.
Yeah.
Yeah, I was.
When was the protest downtown? I didn't go.
It was Saturday, but I didn't. I wasn't on the protest subreddit, so I was down there for the kite festival.
Don't worry, there'll be many chances for going to the protest.
I don't do protests. I think it's a waste of my time. I have more important things to do than to go protest. What am I going to do?
But those
Hold up
who
the
want
sign?
to go and want to show their frustration.
Wait, Vicky,
that's
Vicky went
democracy.
to a protest. Tell us, Vicky, about the protest.
No, I didn't go. I was downtown for the kite festival, and I didn't know what was going on. And there were all these people at the Capitol, and I went, "What's going on?" And then I got on social media, and I found out what was going on. But I was adjacent.
I didn't even know. So how was the kite festival?
That was fun.
At least something is fun.
Look, you guys, I needed some fun, and it was free, which is also a benefit because I'm American. I have no money now, but yeah, it was a nice distraction. It was good weather, and I flew my kite, and yeah.
You had a kite?
I did.
Why didn't you take pictures and send them to us?
It's on my Instagram. You saw it.
Oh, did I like it? I probably liked it. There you go. So I have to go to our Instagram really quick.
I think so. I have to.
Okay.
Can we know your Instagram?
Yeah, what's your Instagram? Tell the fans.
Beauty Lens 1, I think.
Hold on.
I'll look it up. Beauty Lens 1, I think. Or is it just Beauty Lens? It was just Beauty Lens. I know I always get confused with the contact lens company.
Copy this on.
Hold on, I'm looking for it now. Jeez.
Beauty Lens. Oh, I could look for it. Beauty Lens, I think.
Anyway. Yeah, it'd probably be easier if you looked for it instead of me. But yeah, make me do the work.
anyway, it doesn't matter. It's just kites.
So what?
I don't
Oh,
think
there
my
it
kite
is.
was on there actually.
It says
We want to
Vicky.
see.
It all it says for me is Vicky. Let me see if Vicky
Because-
has a handle.
Beauty lens. That's it. Beauty
There.
lens. But
Okay. So
anyway,
here's if
the
you want to
problem
look at
was my
Vicky's
friends-
Instagram, it's BEATUY.
YLENS.
Right. Beauty Lens. BEAUTYLENS. Beauty Lens. And there she has, just so the world can see, there's her kite. I don't know if
Kite
you can see that.
Fest.
There you go. There's Vicky's
I'm every
Instagram.
year with my
There's
friends.
her kite.
Yeah,
There you go.
That's not
Where
my
is
kite,
it?
but that's
Wait,
the
wait.
it's downtown.
show it?
But anyway, my two best friends that I go with every year are terrible camera people, and so they never got a shot of me flying my kites.
Nice.
I think
Are
he
they-
was
are they
drinking the
Asian?
free seltzer beer or whatever it was, the White Claw. So he was like,
Are your two
whatever."
friends that you go with Asian or not Asian?
One is Asian. One
Then
is
they should be
Hispanic,
good
and
with a
I'm the
camera.
token white
Well-
chick. We're like the perfect trifecta of minorities that go and cause havoc.
stuff?
In
Well,
Texas.
first of all, the Hispanic and you, I can understand why neither of you can take a picture, but an Asian, come on, they're good with
know.
cameras. I don't understand. So
He was busy.
Oh,
he was busy hitting on the Hispanic chick. Okay, so
No, these are my gay husbands, but it's fine.
they're your
They-
gay
yeah,
husbands.
They were hitting on, yeah.
Other gay
other guys.
husbands.
Yeah.
Okay, very nice. All right. It's like a bar
So it
in
was
the
fun.
Key
It was
West.
perfect weather. It was a good time.
Okay.
It was a bunch of liberals running around in this little blue island we have in the middle of the state,
Oh,
drinking
God.
White Claw and staring at the sky. It was fun.
Do what you missed out of
Thank
it?
you for asking.
You could have.
Sorry?
You're welcome. You could have stared at. Alan fell asleep. You could have stared at the sky.
no, I didn't fall asleep. I'm looking for the. I didn't
must
found
Don't
it.
bother.
Beauty lands, one word.
Beautyless.
Yeah.
We have.
I'll just send you a link
that's
later,
trying to
Adam. It's fine.
Yeah, don't worry about it on a live show. We can send it to you. That
I'll
people are
send it to
watching.
you in the group chat.
Yeah, we'll send
Why
it to
don't
you.
you put it in the
It's
chat
not
so
that big a
she
deal.
gets some followers?
Well, she has followers.
I know.
Her mom, her dad, her brother.
Yeah,
her two gay
exactly. I did
husbands.
get.
There you go.
But
I did get
20
the-
moms,
the
20
DM.
dads, 100 brothers.
Yeah, I
Big
got
family.
the DM of
Big
let's grow
family.
your following for this much money. Would you like to grow your following? Thing? And I'm
That's
like,
dumb.
Vicky, what is your roots? I mean,
There, what color's your hair used to be, Vicky? That's what he's asking.
it's my
no, the
my
roots
eyebrow
of
color.
the roots of the geological roots.
Geological or genealogical?
He's genealogical. He means where
You know, I'm Polish, Adam.
Ah, yeah, you said, but what from one side, the other?
German.
Okay,
Oh,
German
nice.
Swiss.
European. What are you doing in US?
Nazis.
like 80% of the American. What are you doing in the US? You're American. You're European.
Right. But where are you from? Like, really?
We're-
This is what
we
my
hate
Asian friend always gets
Man,
asked.
we hate Europeans and what they do.
We do? Yeah, I mean, back in the day, well, still now. I mean,
Yeah.
Polish people were the cheap labor that everybody hated. So, you know, we weren't super popular when my family came over on the boat.
Oh, we are still popular now. We're going
Yeah.
up.
Listen, when I was a kid, we
Poland.
loved the Polish people. We had tons of jokes.
Yeah, exactly.
By the
that
way,
too.
at 27th, I
That-
think I'm going to Poland. So we for
Yay!
almost
Are we
a
gonna do the
month.
show? Are we doing the show from
Until,
Poland? Or
I don't
no?
know because I don't know where I'll be. I always travel
Okay.
a lot. Every day I'm somewhere else because
Okay.
I don't travel too much now. So when I travel, I get the most of it.
Okay.
Okay.
So we.
But
move-
anyway,
so
let's.
are you
let's
taking? Are you taking a holiday? Is that what you're trying to tell us?
I have
You
to
buying
go
a
to
house?
Poland because I haven't been like
Forever.
almost 3 years now.
Are you trying to go before the invasion? Is that why? Because I know the Polish government gave a
What
warning to the
invasion
United
of the
States.
Russians?
Yeah, Russian. The
Well,
Polish government
yeah.
Guys,
on
I
Saturday.
had the worst nightmare today.
What was your nightmare?
Mhm.
The nightmare was, I'll say it very quickly, but I was in an embassy of Russia, but I don't know which country. I was in the embassy of Russia, and there was
That's not
Putin there, and
Ooh.
he invited me to look at my work. This is
Nice.
crazy. So I said, okay, I'll go. And Natalie shows up at the moment, my girlfriend, and she stayed with me. She was running around, something like that, and then it was canceled next day. So I come next day again with Natalie, and okay, we're waiting in the queue or something like that, and suddenly, because you said something about an Asian girl, suddenly an Asian girl with a white shows up yeah, and she shoots Natalie in the chest here, and she
That's not
falls
good.
onto me, and so nothing happened, and then she dies.
That's
And
not good. That's not good.
I told you it was a nightmare.
Maybe
I wake
you
up,
shouldn't go.
my
Maybe you
headache.
shouldn't go to.
I
Maybe you
had a
shouldn't go to
headache.
Poland.
I wanted to pee. Everything was bad. You
Yeah.
know, I
You
didn't
think?
look the markets, but it was a sign already that something is
Wrong.
wrong. But fuck, okay, we are talking, about the economy and everything and stuff
Right.
like that. And you know what I hate the most? That every day we have to look up on the news, which is not news, by the way. Anyway, it's bad news. Should be called welcome to bad news. There's no good news anymore on the news, right?
Okay.
And and back in the day there were some good news. Oh, we are constructing this, and this is, oh, we're doing this, and but now it's bad news all the time.
I have good
And
news for you. You want good
okay,
news? Here
yeah,
you go.
yeah.
In the National Hockey League, Alex Ovechkin broke hockey's unbeatable record. He
Yeah,
got
It doesn't.
Gretzky's record.
895 goals, which brings
Hockey doesn't
must
exist in my head.
It's
must.
good
He broke
because
news.
Gretzky's an asshat.
Gretzky. Yeah, I know he beat Wayne Gretzky's record. So there you go. There is good news out of the NHL today.
But what you're
Yeah.
saying? Ice hockey?
Yeah,
Yes.
ice hockey.
It
Was
started.
there
The only one that matters. Yeah.
You watch this in Texas?
Do I do. I watch the Rangers play because I'm a New Yorker, and it's law that when the New York Rangers play, I have to watch. So I cheer them on.
It was my
The
team
Islanders,
until
not so
until
much.
Henrik
You're a wannabe
when
New
Henrik
Yorker.
retired. I stopped watching the Rangers because he was my guy. So
Yeah.
that was
I like my sports. I'm very much in New. All my favorite teams are out of New York. So like I'm a Mets fan, which means I'm never going to see them win the World
Sorry.
Series, and I can live with that. I'm not football. I could care less. Giants, Jets, it's all the same crap. But I do watch the Knicks play because I love the Knicks. I watched them as a kid, and then baseball. Like I said, I'm a Mets fan. So and then for hockey, I'm a Rangers fan. Yeah. So
And NBA?
that's the New York Knicks or the Knickerbockers, as they used to be called. The Brooklyn Nets are okay, but they used to be the New Jersey Generals or the New Jersey whatever. Then they moved them over to Brooklyn, so it's still they're a Jersey team. What exit? So I'm an old school Knicks guy. So
Can you
that's
guess
all I
which team I'm supporting?
in what sport?
NBA. Basketball.
National. Let's see. Who would you like in the NBA?
probably Golden State.
No, he's not a Golden
Where the
State.
No?
Greek freak is playing.
Oh, I don't know where that is
Milwaukee.
actually.
Milwaukee. Oh.
Milwaukee?
Yeah,
Oh.
they need all the fans they can get. They only
Yeah, I was
have
gonna
like
say,
6 of them.
no,
So
they
yeah,
know.
now they have 7.
Well, that's the only thing I know. Okay, I know Lakers. I know Boston.
Well, everybody knows Lakers in Boston because
But I don't
everyone's
watch
knows Lakers,
much.
Chicago, Boston, New York. Those are the
I
teams.
prefer the football that we play. The real.
Yeah, football. Yeah, real football, not that American crap. Those pussies and
Yeah,
helmets and
I
stuff.
like
You
the
like
real football.
yeah,
So
soccer.
okay, I like the Miami now because Messi is playing there.
Oh, you're talking about U.S. football. You're European football club. We'll call it a football club.
Yeah.
But to go
FC.
back to the thing about Poland, if I may, not your nightmare, because that was terrible because we love Natalie.
Yeah, that's enough with the nightmare. I don't want even
The
to think about it.
Polish government said to the United States as well as to the EU that they take the Russian threat of occupation too lightly. They said it over the weekend. It was I think it was either in the Economist or in either the
But
FT
which
or the
one?
Journal.
The occupation,
The Pol-
Ukraine?
The Russian, they're saying that they're taking the Russian concept of occupation, meaning going through the Ukraine, going through Europe, too lightly. It was the president of the PM of Poland, and some of their parliament members were like, "You guys, we lived it," and like they're actually they're telling them there's a problem here. You have to be prepared and ready for it. And they're saying that especially the United States right now is downplaying everything, but the EU is kind of like, oh, you have nothing to worry about. By the time they worry about it, it'll be too late, is what they're saying. It'll be like Russia will be in Poland again. So I was like, that
No,
was interesting.
there is a kind of hysteria in Poland.
Mhm.
And I think in the whole European Union, but this is the first shock because Europeans don't trust anymore. They don't believe anymore that the United States will defend them if there is any kind of rocket attack or any kind of. So Poland actually wants to have nuclear weapons, and that's what I tell you, that it's multi-level crisis now
Okay.
because of the administration and the American. because it's not only the economy. And by the way, there were a lot of things because I'm looking on the crypto things, and because the administration was pro crypto, so many were pro Trump. Oh, sorry, I lost the point.
Oh, you lost the point.
only
As many as I lost, but you're good.
And now I think that they don't like it so much, because it was like kind of thinking that maybe in the economy he will be good.
Right.
But it's not the case. He's
No.
nowhere good.
No.
Nowhere. This is the truth. There's another. I read there's another guy, young guy, died from the disease, measles.
Measles, the second one in Texas. Yeah.
Yes.
Mm.
And it will become a crisis everywhere because they are incompetent. How do you say it? Incompetent.
Yeah, that's it. Well,
incompetent.
Kennedy just came out and said, the best way to combat measles is to have a vaccine.
That's what they are. They don't know what's going on.
Would be good.
Really?
You know the Dow Jones.
Dow Jones, right?
Yeah, not the Dow Jones. Wait, I'll tell you. There is a, and it happens to many people who are. Yeah. There's the Dunning-Kruger. Dunning-Kruger. Yeah. This is kind of psychological state that the less you know, the more you're confident about what you know. I mean, you're sure about what you know. You're right. So there, those guys and also the followers are the same, because you can see that on the comments, and they will support it until it will touch them. I believe so. Because, and it will become soon.
I disagree. Even when it touches them, they support it.
Vicky, it will, because
they're
it's
going
survival
over
mode.
cliff.
When you will go to the supermarket,
they won't. They're far indoctrinated into it that they're just going to go off the cliff with the rest of the lemmings. They're never gonna. These people are. I mean,
they will. They will.
Everything I see in social media is, people are like, "Are you sick of the tariffs yet?" And they're still going.
I also look at the social media, but this is a part, very, very small part of what's really happening in the real life. No,
but I'm saying these are where the maggots hang out, and the maggots are still saying, "Yeah, but like, what? Can you explain to me what's bad about a tariff? Because we've been screwed over for so long. I don't understand why you guys are saying it's a bad thing." And then everybody tells them why it's a bad thing, and then they go, "Well, I don't believe it."
Right.
And you're just like,
well, okay, you will believe it. That's why I tell that they will believe when they will be touched. I mean,
but it's already touching them, and they still don't
they will
get
go
it.
to the supermarket and they will look at the price and will
I
also have to put glasses, although they don't wear. Can you give me your glasses? Oh my God!
All right.
We'll see. We'll see. We'll see. I have less faith in the American idiots than you do.
Yeah, let me tell you, the problem is that most people, and we discussed this with Michael Collins, who's an economist that comes on our show on Lost Dollar, and Michael said, which is true, most people don't understand what a tariff is, and they've done interviews with people and when people go, China's going to pay, and then a guy will kind of explain to you what a tariff is, and they explain it, and this is like a PhD economist or a finance guy, and they'll go, no, you're wrong. That's not what the orange man said, and it's sort of like, I'm sorry. What do you do for a living? And I'm talking some of these people, and I'm not belittling anybody, are just guys that, drive a truck, and other of them run companies, and they don't get what a tariff is. So the problem is it's the dumbing down of America. And until American children get real education again and have brains, and you don't have to give remedial math at Harvard because the kid comes in knowing math, then the problem is you have a country of stupid people. They're ostriches. They stick their head in the sand and they're like, oh, and whoever's at the White House is going to make it perfect. And no, if you don't have an opinion or a formed democracy, then you have morons. So everything that's going to happen to our country, you know what? Good.
Yeah, you're prone to
because people are stupid and they deserve what they get. And then when they wake up, it'll be too late. And just because 100,000 or 10,000 or however many people protested on Saturday throughout the United States, okay,
that is a
good
beginning.
for you.
It doesn't affect policy. It never has.
It doesn't. Well, what's happening is Republicans now are starting to, and big investors. There's an article right now on Bloomberg and the Wall Street Journal that's talking about like some of the top investors in the world are saying, or in the United States, that could affect Trump. I'm sorry, three, I have two left, are saying this is bad. This is what it's going to cause. One of them is trying to be nice and say it'll be stagflation, and the others are like, you're an idiot. It's going to be a recession or a depression. So there's people out there that are Republicans that are telling him, you better have a real master genius plan, unless you're just handing us over to Russia, which it almost seems like what he's doing. So there's got to be a
Didn't
plan,
some,
and if there isn't,
Well,
Didn't some Republicans vote to lift the tariffs on Canada over the weekend or on Friday or
yeah,
something? Susan Collins and
there's votes on removing tariffs on Canada, and like a lot of them are trying to kill the tariffs and the executive
actually,
order.
you
The
know
federal
something?
judges
I
are.
think that he will take them off. He will withdraw them.
If the
He
damage is
will
done,
withdraw
though,
them.
the damage is done.
Yeah, the damage is already done because
The
it's
damage
still
is
at the
done.
beginning of his. It's just the third
Yeah.
month,
They'll
fourth
be like,
month.
well, we don't want to trade with you anyway because you're too unstable. So we're just going to play
Right.
over in our sandbox. And you
Yeah,
can fuck
exactly.
off.
I tell you that's the feeling in Europe. And to be honest, what is the closest ally to USA?
Plus,
Europe. It was Europe.
well,
Europe, Canada,
Canada.
Australia.
Canada was
They're
closer,
all
but yeah.
hit. Yeah, but they're all hit hardly.
Now they don't
I
care.
mean, no.
Yeah. I think the problem is going to be that something's going to hit the fan, and the United States now is going to need help. And it's sort of going to be like,
Greece will bail out America.
well,
don't
Greece
worry.
always bails out. But I mean, Canada and Australia, all these people, UK, all these allies of ours that have helped are going to be like, no, we don't think so. And that's going to be a
Yeah,
problem.
from now on, whatever administration it is, even if he
Yeah.
falls and the Democrats come again, the damage is done. There
Yeah.
is, the trust is something that you don't earn easily, but you lose easily.
Right.
The same with the destruction. Like creating is much harder than destruction. Destruction happens in 2 days. Now I read that we were talking about numbers. Bloomberg says it's 9.5 trillions that were lost.
Oh, and the loss right now? That could.
Yeah.
Oh, yeah, there it is. There you go. Market tumbles as a 3-day sell-off wipes out $9.5 billion.
9.5.
That's a lot. Can I tell you?
My God.
I spent that last weekend in Vegas, so it's not so bad. So
I
there you
mean,
go.
do the people understand how many zeros it's there? It's not
Yeah.
9
No, they don't
because
even-
this is billion. It's 12. 12.
Yeah, it's a lot
Add
of zeros.
12. Yeah, 12 zeros. 12 zeros. My God. And 9.
Well,
Not
and the
one,
nice part
and
about
9
that
on
is
screen.
200 billion of that is Mr. Musk's. So, and this is what you get for being an
Take
idiot.
that, Tesla
I guess.
stockholders, and stick it up
Yeah.
your Cybertruck.
There you go. But no, I mean, the problem is it's going to get, I'm sure today it'll be 12 or 13 billion or trillion. I'm sorry. It's 9 now. It'll be 13 by the end of the day, which will be cool. So tomorrow when this rebroadcast, people will be like, hey, look at that. They knew. Or if it goes the other way, they'll be like idiots. So listen, here's our prediction for.
They call us idiots anyway.
And look, I think this is reaction because he imposed them on Wednesday. This reaction from the Chinese tariffs. Europe is also preparing.
Yeah.
Tariffs. So there will be
Everybody
another,
Yeah. But what China's also doing, which it was an article this morning that they're doing their bailouts now. They're giving money to companies and whatever now to go ahead of America. There was an article over the weekend in the FT talking about why their electric car, like BYD and Li, and they gave a list of all 36, why they're outdoing what America does. They have better self-driving cars than Tesla. They have better this, better that. I mean, like they are kicking butt. And now with AI and deepfake or whatever, DeepSeek, they're kicking butt on that. So China's, it's the old Napoleon thing. Don't wake the sleeping tiger. You woke it. And that was Nixon and Mao. And that was fine. But then all of a sudden Mao died because Mao wasn't going to, this would have never happened with Mao.
Right.
Deng Xiaoping, and I keep saying this, Deng Xiaoping came in, and Deng Xiaoping was a capitalist. And he is what the Chinese people today, including Xi, have to thank where China is globally and economically in the world. It started with Mao and Nixon with shaking of the hands. But Deng Xiaoping was the capitalist in China that's like, okay, here's what we need to do. And they're all following his, 1,000-year plan. And China's going to, you woke them up. And you can't stop them now. And they're showing you can't.
I think I should be spending my time learning Chinese and not learning Korean. It's probably going to
Listen,
be more useful.
I
I'm
will
not
call.
too
I'll
sure.
call
Oh,
she
it's
and
next
see if he's
door.
looking for a girlfriend.
But you know that Chinese, South Koreans, and Japanese, they are making a small, a union there for
Trilateral
the.
agreement.
Well,
Yep.
Yeah.
Yep.
look now, because the main economy is off. The other countries have to survive. They have to try to do the best.
Yep.
To
Yep.
get. I mean, all the ideological barriers and everything. When it's about economy, because it's about survival. Economy is survival. People are no government wants protesting. They want people happy to some degree. It's what you were saying, Stephen, that from the beginning, before the elections, that what I'm worried about is the everyday people, which it's what I asked, that did they touch them yet? When they will be touched.
The Catholic Church touched him. No, go ahead.
Yeah,
So-
it will be hard. It will be hard because
that's what
those
happened when they
prices
touched
are
them.
not
They got
going to
hard.
go down.
Don't-
Oh, yeah. Right. Go ahead, Vicky.
You have to be careful what you say around him, Adam, because he just
Yes.
takes that ball and runs with it. So you have
I
to
have a
be very
photographic and
careful what
pornographic
words you
mind.
use.
I'm sorry. Yeah, there you go.
Yeah.
No, I mean the issue.
Oh, we don't have Stephen.
Oh, look, they got him, Adam. They got him. My government.
Look,
they
I
set
think
him
he
up.
didn't pay. He lost all his money today, and he doesn't have money for the internet.
The spy that's paid to watch his feed is now hit the button.
Look at him; he's
like
really frozen. Oh,
he got. Yeah. But anyway, are we frozen? Are we okay? Are we actually live? I don't even know because he runs the whole thing. He runs the ship. So
don't worry.
we
Oh,
might be
I
in
run.
trouble.
I run the. Look at my name. I run the show.
You run
and
the
all
ship.
the shows.
That's true. The sinking Titanic. You run.
Actually,
the ship you
he's
run.
not here. We can say the name.
That's
So
true. We can say it as many times as we want, and he won't know.
Here, Trump.
know. Oh
Yeah,
God. Well, we can make
Keep
sexual
going.
innuendo jokes now too, because you can't say anything about that either. But
Yeah.
whatever.
So let's
anyway.
make jokes about Steven. But you see, only that day it could happen. It would never happen. Oh my God, the whole world is turned upside down. Really now, I'm starting to worry. if Steven is disappeared, they got him.
I'm telling you, being part of the lizard people did not save him.
Oh my God, nothing saved. Not
still
even
got
the
to him.
aliens or anything.
I know. I'm afraid to actually leave the country and come back now because they can take your phone and check your social
Don't
media.
say the word now.
Oh,
He's
I'm back.
okay, I'm back.
I'm back. I'm sorry. So that was the government.
Master plan. That was the
The minute he
government.
says it,
That was a good.
censorship is real, y'all.
Yeah. So he's made a
this is
war to the
scary.
government. Oh, that's not a wise thing to do.
Yep. When he's in
With the
trouble.
United States of
We're next,
America, what
Adam.
should
We're
you do?
next.
Well,
They're coming for me next. If I freeze, you
you
know
are
what
next.
happened.
I am in Europe. They will
true.
protect me.
If I'm frozen, you know what happened. The government got
There
it.
you go.
Okay.
I don't believe you're here yet. I'm not talking to you two. You're not frozen for the next couple minutes because I have a feeling that the spy's
No,
going
I'm
to get
here.
you again.
I'm here. So.
Well played. Well
Oh
played.
my God. Adam, very funny. You can see your fingers moving. And hello to Dawn.
No,
Unless
your
you guys have
eyes are
already said hello to
moving.
Dawn.
Your eyes are doing this all the time.
Yeah.
That's the way
This is
the
just-
eyes
this is
operate.
just-
They scan.
Yeah, this is just we have Spectrum, and Spectrum sucks. So they go out
What
all
do
the
you
time,
mean? You
and I'm
used,
like, I have no
computer
idea.
Spectrum, ZX Spectrum. You remember?
No, Spectrum is a
computer?
internet provider in Texas,
Expecto
and it's
Patronum.
either that or Google, and they both suck because they both die all the time. So it's like the lesser of two
Guys,
evils.
look, I have lived the Great Crash and everything in Greece. I'll give you advices.
Sure.
It's for 15 years now, and the government, of course, here says that economically, yeah, with the numbers and
Yeah.
everything looks better, but the real life, it's very hard.
It's
in
not
Greece,
good. Yeah.
Not good at all.
I don't even
Because
know what we're talking about anymore.
we have actually higher prices than Germany. That means that we have higher prices at supermarket in America,
Sure.
and we have higher prices. But the median income here is about, I don't know, 1,300 euros, and in Germany it's double. So, and there was only one thing that was different and was cheaper. Here was the houses, the renting and everything, but now it's also up. And this, so it's hard everywhere. And you know something, the crazy thing, and if you zoom out, because I always say that we should always zoom out. That's what I do in general, because if you're zoom in all the time, you don't see the big picture.
Right.
We are living in 2025 when we have so many machines, we have so many things. Did really our way of life become better, or I'm not sure. I mean, at least in the West, I know that there have been a lot of shift to the East and China and other countries there, Vietnam and Indonesia and maybe India, of course. But the West has not been so. I think it went down. Although we have, I mean, we use the machines, we use the technology, we use AI, everything.
Right.
And where do we see this? We don't see it.
No,
And
somebody's making
this
noise.
is also
when they
one of the
wiggle.
reasons that people vote for bullshit.
Adam, your headset's making noise when you talk. Just like
Again.
Yeah.
It's his little cord gets wrapped around his
It's
neck.
your little
Yeah.
cord. You get all excited. It gets wrapped around.
Did you see
you like touching things? Go ahead, Vicky.
There was some, I guess GPT came out with an image generator for the free side now. And so everyone like lost their mind on the internet, and they all did the Miyazaki filter, and it was like the trending thing where everyone took their pictures and put the Miyazaki filter on it.
Yeah. That's
and like Miyazaki, that's like the worst person you could do that to, because he came out right when AI was coming out, and his animators were pitching it to him and talking about how, it could help draw backgrounds and stuff. And he literally said it's an affront to human life. He hated it. He wanted nothing to do with it.
AI?
And because Japan has no copyright laws against using his style of animation,
I don't think that he became suddenly very, very popular. I mean, I didn't know that guy. Although I'm into those.
He was my sensei.
I didn't know him. But now I know him because everybody is using this. This is the thing with hypes and stuff. I don't like hypes. And AI became a hype also in arts. Now the robotics are coming into hype, and I was watching, now coming a little, outside the politics, a little to arts and everything. I made a comment on some of the biggest art, sites on Instagram and everything, that was showing a guy who was pouring, liquid glass on some kind of a canvas or whatever it is, and I wrote this, that we are at the point where in art, it doesn't. What matters is the technique.
Right.
It doesn't matter to have meaning. That's what I say, that what we're living in general is a meaning crisis. It's a meaning crisis. We are taught now, and looking on the Instagram and every social media, how the rich people live, and we want to live like them. And until we get there, we are not satisfied. That means that we're never satisfied, because we're never become Elon Musk or all those billionaires. We're never.
Yeah, but that's not really true.
And there's no point on becoming billionaire. What's the point on becoming like? That's so much vanity into this. I mean, I understand to have money, you need money and everything, but you have to impose a red line somewhere. That look, here life is. I have the money. I have the money. It's enough for me. Now I live. I socialize, I talk with people, I try to make my life better, because it's not always about economy. It's a big factor in our lives, but it's not only this, right? But because we have meaning crisis generally, that's what I say, it's a philosophical, it's a metaphysical problem. That's why I say that we should zoom out. And I say it all the time, because I really believe so. And I watched one of the... yesterday I was watching one debate between philosophers, one the one that I follow the most, and another one who was Buddhist, and I tried to learn about Buddhism a little, but Buddhism is like, it's crazy. I mean, it doesn't make any sense for me.
Are we going to go to that now?
We can.
That's a whole other
do you know about Buddhism?
I do know about Buddha. I rub his belly all the time. I've read the book. There's two sets. I read the Tao side of it or whatever, and the Buddhist side of it. I've read history on both of them. It's a whole thing. It's very fascinating, actually.
Well, what is so fascinating? I find it very confusing. I mean, I don't understand. I mean, there are many schools of Asian philosophy and religion and stuff like that. I am more into the Indian.
Now, when you say Indian, do you mean or do you mean Megachus?
No,
Look at
no,
sir. Which
India,
Indian do you
India,
want?
India.
Okay,
Those
India.
Indians
Okay,
don't exist anymore.
that's right.
They
I'm
are
just making sure.
past. You killed them
Yeah.
all.
I didn't
No, there are
personally kill
some
them
here.
all, but yeah, that's too funny. All
But
right, so Adam, what's your schedule? So tell the fans when you're going on holiday, so they know that you won't be around for a month. When's your last show?
yeah, for a month. But okay, I will try to
Next week we have a
maybe.
show, right?
Yeah, next week probably yes.
Okay,
But
we have a show.
yeah.
Okay,
Next week is okay. Should be
good.
okay.
All right,
And
then we'll have a show.
now
It's
I'm
very
working a
exciting.
lot on there is a competition that I want to take part. I haven't been working on
Cool.
a competition for many years, but this one is a big one, and there are the biggest names. I told it I think last time. So I cannot show
I'm
you the
gonna
artwork.
listen. Tell Vicky about this. I'm gonna run to the loo, and then I'm gonna come
Okay.
back, and we'll do the show. So this is all you and Vicky for the next like say 3
So
minutes.
this competition
like
is
when
really
you're frozen.
interesting because he's that's a day.
Yes, like when I'm frozen.
He thinks he's frozen. He and the artwork that I promote, to show that we have a show, is showing two faces, one upside down, and there is some snow, so they are frozen too, like frost.
Right.
Everything makes sense. The universe
are
is
you
telling
doing-
us all the time. It's full of meaning. We just don't read the meanings. That's
Very
what's
true.
going on.
So are you going to do a 3D printed?
Yeah.
piece
It's
for
it's a
the
digital
podcast?
art competition. It's there are four sectors. There are still image, innovation, moving image means video, animation, something like that. But it has to be digital. So I'm taking part with 3D. I don't think I will use AI. I'm still having problems with AI. I mean, AI is very good for someone who has not developed anything, a style, or is not. It's from nothing. You get always something that is already interesting. But if you're already an artist like me, like professional, and you are into details, and most of all, you are into control of what you're doing, because that's what about professionals, right? The mediums. It's not good yet. It's not. I don't know if probably in the future it will be somehow, but it's not yet. I mean, I tried even, I found some models that I tried to train them with my works, because I have a lot of works, right? So they should normally, the more works you give to them, they cannot do it. Every time that I say, okay, create an artwork, a new artwork, that no one would say, that it's not his artwork. Everybody would say, oh, it's his work. They cannot do it. With the style.
I mean, that's kind of a good thing, though, I think, for you, at least for now.
Well, look, it's not only this, because look, what I said before about the technique, about the art, it's like saying that I have a mobile phone, but the mobile phone is so beautiful that I love the mobile phone more than what it does, actually. I'm in love with that's what I say about the technique. Technique is one of the parameters of the artwork. I have no problem with artists searching new techniques, new ways of expressing, etc., etc. But look, new ways of expressing. So the main thing is expressing. But I don't see expressing as in only expressing through the technique. Oh, look what I have searched around here with these glasses, and I don't know, or even 3D prints, or even 3D, or everything like that. I always try to whatever message is, because I believe that the universe holds meaning in general. This is my problem with the Buddhism. I don't know. Do you have time to tell us about Buddhism a little? Because I'm really interested.
Well, I was just gonna make the point about Miyazaki, who is he's super famous in Japan. He's super famous within the whole anime community. But his whole thing was about storytelling. First and foremost, it wasn't about his style or technique or whatever. He just used that to tell his stories. And so many of his stories were about technology, or, about, the human condition and spirit and all these things that happen to his characters. And so I think that whole thing where it was like, it wasn't so much that he was upset about, AI coming in and using his look to transform people's, profile picture. It was about the fact that the whole element of his storytelling and the human plight that
which was
people went through
identified
was wiped
with.
away.
That's why I'm
Which
talking
was
about
identified with that.
techniques.
Yeah.
Exactly.
Yeah.
You are saying exactly with a paradigm, with
Yeah.
a real paradigm, what I was saying.
Exactly. So I think
It's the
that
same,
was the whole thing
because
where he was upset
this is
about it.
what AI is doing in the arts. It's
Mm.
because the narrative and everything that he created, and he created it all his life, is identify also with the style. You cannot avoid this.
Right.
But it's not
Right.
about the style, what he said. But
Right.
but after a point when everybody is using this style for just their own personal pictures with a dog and everything, like, it's diminishing the narrative, which is the
Right.
essence of
Exactly.
the expression.
Exactly.
That is the problem, and this is what I'm saying about that. We are in a general crisis. What I was saying, that it's a Greek word which actually is not painted with bad meaning. The crisis means judgment. So we're in a judgment because the judgment is always about the future. What will happen in the future? And we said about some things about China. Stephen said that this is good for China, actually, because they are more organized, they are faster, they have the people, they have the technology now, they have everything now. And we in the West, we have, I'm sorry to say, we have Trump. It's not working.
You're with me.
You
We
still got it. You
both said
still
it
have some
twice.
in the
We're both
bank.
3-3. Vicky's the only one that
Well,
has
I
5
said it
left.
10 times when you were gone.
Okay. No, I listened. You didn't. I
Vicky
listened. I
wins
was listening to the whole thing.
always. Women
No.
win because
You know why? That's
look,
because
One for the librarians.
even I cannot look, Stephen. I cannot look out the fact that Trump is a man who is also, the patriarch guy. This is what he's representing, actually.
Yeah.
Wasn't he saying grab her by the?
Yeah.
What's that? Isn't he not accused? He was
Convicted felon.
He was convicted. We have a president of the greatest country in the world who was convicted.
But
What more do we need?
There's a pro and a con. The con is there isn't any. Well, he is. But the pro is it truly means in America anyone can grow up and be president. And there you go. So
Not if you're not born here.
Well, no, because it needs some talent to manipulate all those stupid people, because they are not that easy,
No, actually, no. The people here are
easy.
very stupid, and it's not that hard to manipulate people here. They are really just stupid. I mean, it's just anything. If you look listen,
that comes with a price, Stephen.
Our social decline started, and I hate to pick on these people, but they were very smart. The Kardashians, right? They were the first, if you will, reality television family. There was one in the 70s that didn't take off because we didn't have social media. But the Kardashians
wasn't it the Big Brother?
No, but Kardashians are the ones who kind of start, right? They kind of started it all with what they have.
Yeah, but you're talking about specific way.
Yeah, I don't know.
They made a lot of money. Probably
society is,
even,
but that's why though, because everybody wants to be like society and see where we are.
Yeah, but it's another sign of emptiness. I mean, this is what I'm actually searching about the Buddhist thing. But they're talking about the emptiness. That's the goal is to become.
Do you want to do?
They don't
do you want to
believe
do
in
next week's
ultimate reality.
Right.
We will have to, because I'm interested in Buddhism. Because
next week's show, Buddhism.
Yeah. Okay.
Okay.
So you're gonna say a lot.
Do some research.
You know more, or whatever.
Yeah, I'll have to do research because I don't know enough to
one.
speak on it really.
Let's do some research and let's talk about Buddhism.
I've read the books. I've read the books on Buddhism, Confucianism, and Taoism. I found it all fascinating. They all have the same premise. But if we want, we can do some research on it. And next week's show, let's just talk about that.
Because
no politics, no nothing. I'm sure it'll go there.
It'll come in.
But we need to learn about Buddhism, because they're talking about emptiness, and soon we will open up the fridge and it will be empty. So let's,
Next week is Buddhism. Then that's it. That's it for next week. So once again, don't forget, everybody. Thank you for watching or listening.
Hello, Dawn.
I now saw that Dawn came and left already. Yeah. So we will see everybody next Monday live with Adam. We're going to touch Buddhism, I think, or I like the way I say it, Buddhism. It sounds so dirty.
Unless something else comes up.
Something else comes up.
We'll
change this show.
Because we're wasting our lives talking about this
Yeah, well, let's think of
Yeah.
something else. And you can catch Vicky at Hilda's
need-
House of Pain this week in the librarian room. Book your appointments early. Adam, we will see you next week. Don't forget to subscribe and like everybody, and we'll see everybody next Monday. Have a good week, everybody. Cheers. That was,
That
as
was
they
fun. That's
say,
never happened before.
what? The internet?
That you,
Hey, I got to end the live stream. There we
Adventure.
go.
So
I knew I forgot to hit a button.
the
even
used weird
just
internet going out. That's
froze,
never happened.
went to the toilet.
Yeah, exactly.